Today we'll be making an adorable Poofy Easter Deco mesh wreath. What you will need, I have this adorable little sign for the center, a 16-inch wreath ring. I will link videos showing you how to use either a 14 or 18-inch wreath ring and attaching your own stems, a roll of 21-inch mesh, and also a few rolls of 6-inch mesh, Chanel stems, some adorable little carrots, scissors or a rotary cutter, and a hot glue gun. Alright, let's get started. So first thing I'm going to do is raise all of my stems, just because I feel like raising them prior to starting the wreath makes the process a lot smoother. And I'm going to start with my 21-inch mesh. Going to fold it to a nice little point and start on my outer ring. Place my mesh, twist it to pull to make a poof, and place it in the next stem. The size of the poof, that is completely up to you. If you want a larger, poofier wreath, then make the poofs larger. If you want a smaller, tighter wreath, then you just make the poofs smaller. Whatever you prefer. When you're making your poofs though, try to make them as uniform as possible. If they're not the exact same, that's okay, but as close as possible. You can double layer your mesh if you choose to do so. Just depends on how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll double up with two of the same colors or two different colors. Just depends on the wreath I'm making. Alright, so I'm just going all the way around on the outer stem, and then I'm going to come back and do the same thing on the inner stem. I'm going to just make the poof and place it in my starting stem. I'm going to cut away the excess mesh. You can cut away, you can just continue on the inner ring, whatever you prefer. This time I'm just going to cut it and then tuck it away. And now I'm just going to start over on my inner ring. Alright, so I have all of my mesh in place. Now I'm just going around and kind of flaring out and fluffing up my poofs. Making sure everything looks nice and poofy. Now sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling, I would go back around with another row of mesh just to make it even thicker and poofier, but that is an option. Alright, so now we're going to add our 6-inch mesh. I have cut the mesh into 8-inch long pieces. What I'm going to do is roll my mesh at a diagonal. Do the same with my orange. Crisscross them, scrunch, and place it in my stem. Twist a couple of times and then tuck it away. So I'm also going to alternate which color I place on top. Last time orange was on top, so this time I'm going to place the green on top. I prefer to alternate the colors just so each color is visible and it just makes for a nicer wreath. I'm just going to repeat this step for all of my stems. Going to add in some white to each of my bundles. So this is what it's looking like. Now I'm just going to add mesh to the outer ring, just like the inner ring. I'm only going to add one piece of mesh to each outer stem though, as opposed to 3 on the inner. Alright, so this is what the wreath is looking like with all the mesh in place. It's so cute and poofy already. Sometimes I leave the wreath just like this because it's so precious and adorable by itself. And sometimes I add an adorable sign to the center. But again, you can definitely leave it like this. It makes such a cute and poofy wreath. Alright, we're going to go ahead and add our adorable sign to the center. So I'm going to take 2 stems, twist them together to form one long stem for the top and one for the bottom. And I want to make sure I have enough of my stem hanging off the side of my sign so I can easily attach it to my wreath. And then I'm just going to hot glue it in place. Before I place my sign, I'm just going to push the mesh outward and snugly place my sign. And then I'm going to push the mesh aside and attach my stem to the actual wreath ring and twist it in place just to make sure it's nice and secure. And I'm going to repeat this step for all 4 stems. I'm just replacing the mesh, making sure there are no gaps or spaces. Last thing I'm going to do is add these adorable carrots. I'm only going to go with 2, and I think I'm going to add it here. It's because I feel like the wreath is already so like poofy and everything. So I just want to add the carrots as an extra touch, but I don't want to add too many. And I'm just going to hot glue them in place.